Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to catch the show live, enjoy. Well, today we will dive on into some business news. We have a lot to cover here, so we might be going a little bit quick. Hold on to your seats. First up is ATT's current 5G is slower than 4G. It makes you wonder why they rolled this out so fast. Like everyone's rushing. They finally get it out and it's slower than 4G. Interesting. So what is this? PC Mag. They did their annual mobile network testing, and they looked at 5G phones connected to AT&T got lower speeds than the 4G phones in 21 out of 22 cities. Oh, that just makes me laugh. They said that T-Mobile worked very well. Where was it? Where was the T-Mobile discussion? There we are. T-Mobile 5G, actually wasn't always faster than 4G. T-Mobile had the most 5G available, but its 5G were 17% slower than its 4G result at locations where both networks. So if both networks were available, it was a little bit slower than 4G. So I thought I read in there that T-Mobile was actually a little bit faster. They did say Verizon was mind-blowingly fast, although you really couldn't find good. You really couldn't find any good service for it. A lot of the reason for this is Verizon is using this, the high frequency, like every 30 feet, you have to have a repeater for it. So if you happen to get into an area where you can find it, it's really fast, but it's really not expansive. The other ones, it's basically an enhanced 4G. And so, it has a broader, wider experience, but it seems to be actually a little bit slower, I guess. So this whole big push for 5G, now we've put 5G all over the place. If you're the 5G conspiracy theorist, then you're like, it's killing us everywhere. And it may be, it may not be. I don't really know because I haven't actually sat down to do the actual research personally. But now that they've pushed really fast to get it out, apparently it's a little bit slower. So that's very interesting. Tech employees without kids are getting upset over additional benefits offered to tech parents. So if you are a person watching this with kids or without kids that you're now working from home, let me know. Or if you do not have kids, do you perceive that those kids, the ones with kids, you're getting beneficial treatments? I don't see this as a lot more different than I spent a lot of time in the restaurants going through college, paying my way through college. And the guys who were smokers always irritated me because they took more breaks to go and smoke. But the advantage is you're like, hey man, you take the garbage out. Hey, no problem. Because you can take the garbage out and smoke a cigarette while he's out there doing it. And so, I almost look at this as almost the same way. The tech employees with parents are going, hey, we actually, I need to stop and help the kid. I need to help stop and do this. I need to stop and do that. Versus the guys without it, they're like, hey, you need to pick up your slack around here. So there was some discussion about this. I believe Facebook was the one place where they did this. And people started to ask about it, and Facebook COO basically said, she reported, she disagreed with the premises of that question. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's something that we actually can have some actual real data on, though, So we think about it, maybe we should actually get a little bit of data, but I would actually guess that this is the case. I would guess that if you are working from home now and your kids are schooling from home now, that you are going to need to take more breaks than a person without any kids. And so maybe the employers, as we're forcing everybody to work online, maybe we need to look at this and make sure that everyone is getting an equivalent amount of breaks, or understand that, hey, people are going to need more time off, even if you're working from home. This summer marks 10 years I have been working for myself from my home. Okay, I walked away from 9-to-5 corporate world. I didn't work corporate, I worked academia, but I walked away from all that a decade ago. And I've been working from home. And I'll tell you, nobody sits there in front of the computer for like 30 hours straight, just, 8 hours straight, 2.5 hours. I'm going to stop for my 15-minute timed coffee break. It doesn't happen, all right? You start going on a project, you get to it. I might go a whole 2 hours without stopping because I'm in the middle of something. Like, oh, good. Hit a good stopping point. All right, let's go rest the eyes a little bit. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up, walk outside a little bit. I walk down to the mail. Like, I don't actually use the real mailbox here, but I go down and check it for junk mail. Just make sure it's clean. I don't do that because I'm anticipating anything. I just do it to stretch my legs away. Then you come back in and you just keep on working, keep on working, keep on working. So it'd be an interesting thing, and it should be something that's fairly quantitative that you could figure out. And I think that that's what some of the people have noticed, that if you're a single person working on a team and part of your team is parents, then it would actually sit there and go, you know what? These guys are always taking breaks and it drives me crazy. This is something that should be quantitative. And maybe in this era where we're forcing everybody to work online, maybe it's something we do need to look at and realize that, people do actually need breaks from time to time. There's a thought. Well, you guys that paid $60 for whatever game this is, they apologize for putting in full screen ads into a $60 game, but they were very sneaky. They did it a month after the game was released so that it didn't show up on the reviews. This is just EA being EA. This shouldn't even be in the news. I mean, this is just like EA did something stupid. I mean, it's more newsworthy to say a bomb blew up somewhere in the Middle East. I mean, really, that happens every day. What's going on? What is this? In-game ad... UCF 4, is that it? I am not a gamer, guys. I have no idea what game it is. UCF 4 game, I guess. So they've apologized for putting it into the game after angry fans protested on Reddit. The first report by Eurogamer, the commercial break, which featured a spot for Amazon's show The Boys, was added to the $60 game a month after its initial release. Like you're playing. Oh, pause. Is there an ad about to jump up? Where's it at? Oh, that's just doing some basic gameplay footage. Oh, yeah, there you go. We're going to get started on our fight, guys. Here you go. You're going to get started on our fight. Ready? Are you playing? Come on, Reddit. You suck. There you go. Boom! Yeah! That was almost like the Fight Club inserting a frame part. Oh, my lands. All right. Well, anyway. They said disable the ads. Quote, "It's abundantly clear from your feedback that integrating ads into the replay and overlay experience is not welcome." This is a family-friendly channel, so I'm not going to say what I really wanted to say, but no kidding. No bleepy bleep, Sherlock. I mean, come on. Like, it's one thing if you downloaded the game from the internet for free, you can't complain about the ads. Paying $60 for a game that's probably not even ready yet. I mean, hey guys, push it out now. We'll just patch it over the course of the next 6 months. Well, 1 month in, we're going to put in the ads, and then about 3 months out, we're going to stop all development, and people are going to have to pay for the rest of the game. Again. They've already paid. They're going to pay again. Subscription services are in. So, yeah, that's kind of exciting. I guess speaking of full channel ads, if you'd like to help support the channel, one great way is you can actually buy my book, review it on Amazon if you want. I have several books, but this is my science fiction novel called Synaptergy. You can actually head on over to the website synaptergy.com or tlm.li/s and get more information about it over here. You can read the whole chapter. The first chapter, you can go ahead and see the list of the various links that I know of where the book is available. If you buy your books online anywhere, go ahead and check. It's probably there. You can actually listen to the audiobook of the first 5 minutes of the book there, and there's a newsletter over there as well. When we start updating it, start working on the next installment of the book, we'll go ahead and do that. So anyway, you can help support the channel. Have a look at tlm.li/s or synaptergy.com. All right, so we have 2 Windows breaks this week. Isn't that exciting? Windows always has to break. I mean, this is another thing. Like, why is this news, Windows 10 update this week This one breaks, I forgot, I have two of them here. Is this I think this is the sleep mode one. Okay, there's like multiple ones here. So this is a sleep mode one where your computer just will not go to sleep. Basically, it has insomnia. It's a feature. It's a feature. Windows 10 now comes with insomnia. Okay, it goes to sleep and it just suddenly wakes itself back up. I don't really see this necessarily a big deal, but yeah, I guess if you are anticipating your computer sleeping, this is kind of good. Totally unexpected turn of events. Windows 10 update has broken one of the OS's major feature. On this occasion, the bug is affecting some machines' sleep mode, which with cases of computers repeatedly waking up for no reason or low power state not working at all. There is a temporary fix. It is KB4568831. That's the one that killed it. So you can uninstall the update. I think they had another update. There's another way. Okay. So if it doesn't work, let's see. You can open Windows search for the services. Okay, so yeah, you need to find that particular, the service, services.msc. So I guess that's the temporary work, only temporary solution, which stop MOUSO core worker.exe from preventing sleep mode. So it's that particular application. You can probably uninstall that update, I'm guessing, but you can do that. Well, if that's not exciting enough for you guys like to use Linux on your Windows 10, Windows 10 update also broke Linux support for some users. This is the Windows subset for subsystem for Linux 2. So in this time, Windows 10 update that fixes one problem, introduces another. The patch for the notorious SSD issue has broken the WSL2. So you can either have a functioning SSD or a functioning Linux. Take your pick. Eek. This one here, they're saying you can uninstall. This one is KB4571756. That is the update that causes the problems. So if you were not having that particular SSD bug, but you are having issues with Windows subset for Linux, subsystem for Linux, I'm going to keep saying that, go ahead and remove that particular update and you should be set to go. All right, Netflix CEO Reed Hastings says employees will return to the offices when the majority of them are vaccinated. Well, for all you guys saying, that's all a conspiracy theory, they're not going to force vaccines. Yeah, they are, actually. College students are. Penn State University campus, the compact that the students have to sign and agree to, part of this for the COVID mitigation requires the students to take a flu vaccine. If somebody can figure out, I mean, I thought COVID had nothing to do with flu, really, but apparently not. Apparently that's not true. But this is what we're going to start to see. Oh, you would like to keep your job? Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to get a vaccine, but if you'd like to keep working here, you will. I'll remind you that this is a hastily filled vaccine. I'll also remind you that the vaccine trials this week, you know, like, we're criticizing ours. They skipped safety trials. Yeah, we have too. The vaccine study that was underway was immediately stopped because somebody got I forget exactly what it was, but it's it is a very deadly viral contamination or a viral infection of the spinal cord linked to the vaccine. Yeah, Netflix is just working to kill people. If it's not for their horrible programming this week, then it's for other stuff as well. But yeah, Netflix CEO says working remotely is a pure negative. Well, then why don't you let people come back to work, or at least require vaccines for something that actually kills the majority of people who's your working force? Because I really don't think that the average population of the workforce of Netflix is 65-plus-year-old people with 2.3 comorbidities, okay? Now, if you got a lot of 90-year-olds working there, sure, I can understand all the precautions you want in the world. But for the standard basic population, oh, my lands. What is up with these morons? But this is just the first, and we're going to see this coming out with other companies and other companies and other companies. And it's going to get to the point where you can come in grocery shopping if you've had the mark of the beast. So let me know your thoughts on that. All right, we're going to get off of that horse for a little while. Xbox Game Pass. You guys have Xbox Game Pass? You'll be so excited to know that they are doubling the price. Yeah, so much for subtlety. Like, excuse me. Never mind. I was going to say something else, but this is a family-friendly channel. All right. I'm feeling saucy today, guys. I'm feeling saucy. All right. All good things come to an end. Microsoft confirmed that the PC version of Game Pass will soon cost $9.99 a month. This is like the drug deal, right? It's like, hey, man, you want to just try it? Just try it. Come on, just try it. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, $3? Oh, don't worry about it. Now you're like, you're addicted. You're like, I got to have it. I got to have it. I got to have it. I listened to that song by Jewel the other day, Little Sister. I love that song. Excellent song. Hey, little sister, heard you went to Mr. So-and-so, said you needed it so bad. You know it ain't right. Come on. They got you hooked. They got you addicted. You can't live without your Game Pass. Double the money now, buddy. This is why I just don't play with all these streaming services. Man, give me a good old DVD and stuff like that. That's kind of exciting. All right, and on to our feature story today. Online voting vendor Voatz. Sounds kind of like Gotaz. Like sheeples. Voatz urges the Supreme Court to limit security research. So an online voting application wants the Supreme Court to tell people that they're not allowed to do security audits of their system. We're just asking for voter fraud, guys. I mean, we got this kind of stuff. We got all the mail-in ballots. I've received three applications to send in the mail-in ballots. One of the mail-in ballots I got was addressed to me or occupant. Yeah, I have zero confidence that mail-in ballots, and by the way, guys, there is a difference, a radical difference between an absentee ballot and a mail-in ballot, okay? This is insane. I mean, we need to go to the polls. All right, guys, just for the record, I am going to go to the polls, I am going to vote, and it is going to be one of the very few times that if required by our district, and I think it will, I will have to wear a kufi catcher. So if you want to see me in a kufi catcher, you got to go down and figure out where my voting poll is on voting day, because I will be going and voting, and if I must wear a kufi catcher, that is considered a case where I will wear a kufi catcher. All right? But this voting season is going to be interesting. I can promise you nothing more than that. We are going to have an interesting voting season. So we have this online voting vendor. And if I'm not mistaken, let me read through some of this again. Supreme Court is considering whether to adopt the broad reading of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act that critics say could criminalize some aspects of independent security research and create legal uncertainty for security researchers. Voatz, an online voting vendor. See, these guys should have zero say in this. They are an invested party. They should have zero say. Give us your statement and that's it. They say, let's see, okay. Voatz, an online voting vendor whose software was used in West Virginia for overseas military voters in 2018 election, argues that this wouldn't be a problem. Necessary research and testing can be performed by authorized parties, he wrote in a brief to the Supreme Court. Voatz's own security experience provides a helpful illustration of the benefits of authorized security research and also shows how unauthorized research and public dissemination of unvalidated or theoretical security vulnerabilities can actually cause harmful effects. Like, causing a fix in the system. Very horrifying results. As it happens, we've covered the recent conflict between Voatz and the independent security researcher in last Thursday's deep dive on online voting, and others involved in the altercation did not see it the way Voatz did. The unauthorized research Voatz complains about includes February research paper from MIT that exposed serious security problems in the app. The lead author of the MIT study, Michael Spector, presented his findings at the prestigious peer-reviewed Usenix Security Conference last month. The Voatz Supreme Court brief doesn't mention that problems identified in the MIT team were largely confirmed by a computer security firm called Trail of Bits, and that Voatz itself hired to vet its software. So they hire the company to vet its software. They're like, hey, no problem, but they confirm the bugs later. I moved into a house once and the electrical system was completely screwed up. The house inspector said, hey, there's problems with the electrical. So I told that to the seller and I said, hey, you need to fix the electrical stuff. They hired their friend who is an electrician who simply came in and signed off on the electrical. So I get there day one and I plug in my reader, which will tell you can get like a 3-prong thing, has a series of lights that tells you if the wiring is done correctly. I plug this guy in and it's telling me this is kind of bad. There's a ground fault switch on the garage. I'm like, all right, well, let's go and buy another ground fault switch. Go out to buy a ground fault switch. I pull it all out to change it. And guess what? The ground fault switch wasn't broken. It was wired upside down. A ground fault switch, when you're wiring an outlet, the directionality of it is not specifically important, but if it's a ground fault switch, it is critically important. You have to wire them exactly per instruction. They wired it upside down, so it wasn't working right, and it was throwing errors. So I just had to fix that, and then they went from old wiring, like new wiring in the house, into old wiring in the house, back into new wiring in the house. It was like a giant mess. So I ended up rewiring the house myself because apparently the electrician that they hired, they just paid him a couple bucks. It's like the same thing, right? Hey, pay us a couple bucks. We're a security researcher. Use our name and you're all good. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, statement to Ars. Voatz said it was compelled to file a brief to the Supreme Court because it was mentioned in another brief in the same case. Well, Voatz, what is it Voatz? Voatz? I don't know. I have no idea how to pronounce that. We'll call it Voatz. Hereforth, you shall be called Voatz. Voatz said that earlier in the brief signed by Spectre and a number of other security researchers had some factual inaccuracies the company wanted correct. It's like, yeah. But anyway, they're trying to get this law passed, and they're trying to get the Supreme Court to pass this law that basically says, hey, nobody except the people we hire are allowed to do security research. And this is a highly dangerous precedent to set. You do not want to set that type of precedent. That would be very bad. So anyway, with all that, let me know your thoughts on that and the other stories in the comments down below.
Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.